The YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul is all set on changing the game, quite literally. On the slight chance that you don't know who the problem child is, that's okay, we've got you covered. In this video, we're talking about Jake and his upcoming fight against UFC legend Anderson Silva. Plus, we'll take you through his boxing career while ranking all of his brawls. So without wasting any time, let's get into it. To start with, a little intro. Just a kid from Cleveland, Ohio, Jake earned his initial fame by making videos on Vine. Rest in peace, Vine. Today, his YouTube channel has more than 20 million subscribers. Even after being signed by Disney, Jake knew that he wanted to do more. Our boy wanted a bigger challenge, and well, let's just say that he found it. The YouTube sensation moved towards boxing in 2020, which gained a lot of attention among fans. Not gonna lie, he definitely has some talent. In all 5 that Jake has fought, he's won 4 of them by knockout, taking everyone by surprise. He has even defeated professional MMA fighters like Tyron Woodley and Ben Askren. But the upcoming boxer is now going up against Anderson Silva, which might just be his biggest bout yet. Moving up, let's talk a little bit about his upcoming fight. So initially, Jake was supposed to fight Tommy Fury, who pulled out for a second time. We'll get to the chronicles of Tommy Fury in a while. Anyway, heavyweight Hasim Rahman Jr. was called as a replacement, but unfortunately, a disagreement regarding weight ended in the cancellation of this fight as well. Taking a leap no one expected, the YouTube sensation turned pro boxer announced his fight against UFC legend Anderson Silva on October 29th. Even though Silva is 47, this is still going to be the toughest bout for Paul. The fight is highly anticipated as Silva holds a 4-1 boxing record, beating former world champion Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. last year. Shortly after, the Brazilian also knocked out Tito Ortiz, the UFC veteran. Silva is now off to make the biggest buck of his career by fighting Paul, who, as we said, hasn't lost yit. The fight will be at the Gila River Arena in Glendale, Arizona. Unlike the rest of the fights Paul has had, there's no drama involved in this one. Jake looks up to the legend and has a lot of respect for him. He also recreated a picture he and his brother Logan took with Silva when they were kids. Now let's take a look at all the great matches that led to this fight and rank them. On number 5, we have Paul versus Anison Gibb. Even though this was a professional boxing match, it's coming in at the very bottom. Sure, Gibb had a little boxing history, and even though there was a lot of trash talking before the fight, it just wasn't the big event. On fight night, the YouTubers did not touch gloves before the opening bell, which gave the bout a heated start. That was the end result of a battle week that featured a lot of insults. The two of them swung violently at one another. To prevent Paul from knocking him out, Anison Gibb made an effort to crouch. Paul struck Anison Gibb in the face a few times, and Anison Gibb fell after receiving one right hand. A left hook knocked Anison Gibb to the ground a short while afterward. Paul was wounded after Anison Gibb managed to deliver a right to the nose. Nevertheless, Big Gibb was unable to thrive. He was on his knees when Paul extended his right hand. The battle was then abruptly ended by the referee. In conclusion, Gibb went down a lot and Paul got his W. Coming to number 4, Paul versus Robinson. Back in 2020, we got to see some serious beef between Jake Paul and Nate Robinson. Later, it was announced in July of 2020 that Jake would be stepping into the ring against the pro basketball player. Jake's second professional fight was on the undercard of Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr., an exhibition match. Anyways, the fight was originally planned to go down on September 12, 2020, but Tyson announced that in order to gain maximum revenue, the event was going to get pushed till late November of the year. The fight didn't really go on for long, as Jake dropped Nate within 2 minutes of the second round. The internet really made a meme out of Nate being knocked out of the ring. Next up on number 3, we have Paul versus Askren. After going at each other on the internet, it was announced that Paul's third professional opponent was going to be Ben Askren, the former Bellator MMA and one welterweight champion. The fight was initially rumored to be in March of 2021 in Los Angeles, but after Askren had accepted the challenge, it was announced in February of 2021 that the showdown was going to happen on April 17th of that year. Well, as you already know, the problem child took Askren down via TKO within 2 minutes of round 1. The event made an alleged amount of about 1.5 million pay-per-views, but the authenticity of these numbers was hugely questioned on the internet. This doesn't only include fans, but many professional MMA and boxing names as well. Number 2, Paul versus Woodley 1. Yeah, they fought twice, and if you're wondering what that's all about, we'll get to the why. Don't worry. Before the main event of Jake Paul versus Ben Askren, Paul and one of his cornermen, Jillian Love, got into a backstage argument with former UFC welterweight champion Tyron Woodley. Woodley was made fun of for his lack of boxing experience, and the outcome of Paul's fight with Woodley's longtime teammate Ben Askren was also brought up. Paul was called out by Woodley after the problem child defeated Ben Askren. Paul and Woodley squared off in a boxing match on August 29, 2021, according to press reports that first appeared on May 31, 2021. The outcome of the contest was divided. One judge gave the fight to Woodley with a score of 77-75, whereas the other two gave the bout to Paul with scores of 77-75 and 78-74. Another W for the YouTube sensation. Now for number 1, Paul versus Woodley 2. A little backstory for those of you who don't know. Jake was originally planning on going against Tommy Fury. The two were not holding back on trash talk in any way. Anyways, like KSI says, talk the talk and walk the walk, or something along these lines. But Tommy did not walk. Fans speculated that, as the Brit had a lot on the line, he faked an injury and pulled out at the last minute. Anyways, Paul was looking for an opponent when Woodley stepped up on short notice and stepped into the ring. Paul gifted him a Rolex for his sportsmanship. This was a gesture of respect, which led them to become really good friends. So the rematch happened in December of 2021 in Tampa, Florida. Paul didn't hold back this time, as he KO'd Woodley in the 6th round of the match. The KO won ESPN's Best Knockout of the Year. Moving up, the fight that started it all. Consider this a cherry on top kind of thing. Yes, we're talking about Deji versus Paul. When KSI called out the Pools after defeating Joe Weller, you knew it had to be a family fight event. Although it was speculated that Jake would go against KSI, Jake let his older brother take the spotlight, and thus we got Logan versus KSI, and the younger brothers going against one another. It was an amateur fight, but a very fun event. It took place on August 25th, 2018, at Manchester Arena. To sum up the fight, Paul won in the 5th round against Deji by TKO, and thus the journey of rewriting boxing began. What's more, let's see what Jake wants. After the fight with Silva goes down, Jake has decided to cut his weight and go for even bigger fights. He has been called out by many fighters like Floyd Mayweather, Nate Diaz, Dylan Dennis, you name it. Everyone wants a big paycheck, and that is possible if they fight Paul. Jake plans on moving to 175 so he can fight pros like notorious Conor McGregor and, like we said, Nate Diaz. Lastly, the big fight we all want. Yes, none other than the Pauls going against each other. Both have shared their desire to fight, but have stated their parents discouraged that. But the old feud they had might be going down, with a rumor that Logan is making a return to the ring in January 2023. They both have expressed their desire to fight each other, and the fans want to see it as well. We may finally get an answer to who is the better boxer among the two, but it still might be far from happening, as Logan might take on Dylan Dennis. Even the KSI versus Jake fight could happen before the brothers decide to get in the ring against each other. What isn't possible in the sport at this point? Anyways, that's a wrap for this video. Who do you think will win, Silva or Jake? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.